Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I am currently driving through the city of Kokomo, Indiana, and what you are currently looking at is a house that is currently for sale here in Kokomo, Indiana. Now, I believe, I am on the southeast, I'm on the northeast side of Kokomo. If I'm wrong, leave a comment below for those of you that are familiar with Kokomo, Indiana. But I believe I am on the northeast side of Kokomo. I am right by the downtown Kokomo, Indiana area. Now, this house that you're currently looking at is for sale, and it is for sale for $9,000, and it's gonna need pretty much everything under the sun done to it. It is not habitable at this particular point. Now, I have seen houses here in Kokomo, Indiana for sale for as low as $7,000. Now, there are plenty of houses here in Kokomo, Indiana for under $50,000 for those of you that are currently looking to purchase a home here in Indiana. Now, unlike other smaller communities that I have done a video on, Kokomo is a little bigger. The population of Kokomo is 57,941 people. The population density is at 1,584 people, which, it's not the best in my opinion, but it's not too bad. And there are quite a few decent paying factory jobs here in Kokomo, one of the biggest ones being Chrysler. And I believe the Honda plant is here in Kokomo as well. Now, and also, Kokomo is an hour outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. But again, if you don't want to travel all the way to Indianapolis or any of its suburbs for work, there are jobs here in Kokomo to be had. Some of them do pay pretty decent. So I just wanted to put that out there. Now that I have gotten all that out of the way, now I will start driving around. And here we go. I just wanted to stop because I wanted you guys to see what one of the houses here in Kokomo will look like at $9,000 and $10,000. Now, I'm pretty sure many of you know, especially in this housing market. Oh, by the way, this house even comes with a one-car garage. Let me back up and show you guys the garage. Here's your one-car garage. Anyways, as many of you know at this particular point, whenever you look at a house that's priced as low as $9,000 and $10,000, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that that house is going to need everything under the sun done to it. Now, that house I just showed you is going to need everything. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through downtown Kokomo, Indiana, and then we're going to come back over to the northeast side of Kokomo. But I figure since I'm right by downtown, I might as well drive through downtown. Now again, Kokomo is a little bigger than other smaller cities I've done. I mean, if you're wanting to live here in Kokomo or in a city like Kokomo, I mean, given that this is slightly a bigger city, this ain't just some small hole in the wall town or anything. I mean, as far as it goes for crime here in Kokomo, I mean, for the most part, crime here is not bad. I mean, for the most part, crime here is not bad. I mean, it's definitely not going to be the lowest. I mean, you will have a little bit more crime here in Kokomo because the population is slightly higher. I mean, the crime here still is not going to compare to any of your larger cities, such as Indianapolis. But if you're looking for that small town feel, I mean, Kokomo, you might like Kokomo and you may not like Kokomo. It depends on what you're looking for as far as a place to live. Now, if you're looking for, let's say, a smaller community, I mean, if you're not wanting to live in the metro and you're looking for somewhere smaller, but maybe you don't want to go too small, I mean, you still want to live in an area to where you have at least most of your basic amenities, then Kokomo would definitely be a decent alternative to, let's say, in a city like Indianapolis, if you're not wanting to live in the metro. Now, economically speaking, Kokomo does have a fairly decent economy for a city of its size. I mean, the economy here in Kokomo is definitely better than Marion, Indiana. Now, the population of Marion is 38,000 people. The population here is 57,000 people at this point. But the economy here is better than Marion, way better. Now, your cost of living here in Kokomo compared to Marion, well, if you look at the data will show you that the cost of living here in Kokomo is higher than Marion. But personally, I don't always go off of data, because if you come here to Kokomo to look for housing, I mean, depending on when you go about looking for a home, and I guess how you go about looking for a home, you can find some houses here in Kokomo for relatively cheap. Now, compared to other cities I've been driven through so far, I will say the taxes here in Howard County are, well, they're not the lowest, either are they the highest. I mean, I will say the property taxes here in Kokomo, I mean, they're okay, they're reasonable, they're not too high. And as you guys can see, Kokomo does have a slightly larger downtown area, given that this is a slightly larger city compared to other smaller cities I've done videos on. And there's a 50-50 chance that I might just do a video on downtown Kokomo all by itself, because I don't want to make this video too terribly long. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not from Kokomo. I've been to Kokomo a few times, but I never spent any significant amount of time up here in Kokomo. But Kokomo is definitely a smaller city that's worth checking out if you're looking to move out of a larger city, and you're not wanting to go too small. I mean, Kokomo is definitely one of those type of cities where it's worth checking out. I gotta say, right now there's a little bit of activity down here. Not too terribly much, but just a little bit. I mean, you know, down here you do have quite a few historical buildings. This is one building I want to show you guys real quick. I'm going to try to get a glimpse of it here. And this area right here is the historical district of Kokomo, Indiana. slow down so y'all can see the houses a little better. And given that Kokomo is the size that it is, I'm going to be doing several videos of this wonderful city of Kokomo, Indiana. Because one or two videos is not going to be enough to serve this city justice. I mean, because there's a lot of, you know, now this area that I'm driving through right now is by no means the type of area that most of you who make less than 40 grand a year are going to be able to afford to live. I mean, maybe you might find a bargain here and there that you can buy that you can buy for dirt cheap. Because sometimes in these historical areas, you might find you a house that needs everything under the sun that you might be able to purchase for less than 50 grand. And if you got some handyman skills or you got some connections, you can buy you one of these houses for fairly low and fix it up. And looks like they got a walking trail here in the city that extends from one side of the city to another. Now this side of Kokomo right here is one of the better off sides of Kokomo. I don't want to say better off, but I'll just say it's one of the real off sides of Kokomo. This is the northwest side of Kokomo, I believe. Now I'm going to turn back into the historical district of Kokomo. I will come back and do this side of Kokomo on another video. Yeah, this area, the historical district of Kokomo, we're getting ready to enter in the Old Silk Stocking neighborhood. So I call it the historical district of Kokomo. I mean, that's what I call it. But apparently they named it the Old Stock neighborhood. Now there are areas around here that are affordable, but aren't too far from this particular area. I'm going to take you through some of these areas right now. In fact, yeah, this is the northwest side of Kokomo where we're at right now. This is the northwest side of Kokomo. Now the houses around here are going to be a little more expensive compared to other parts of the city. Now this area right here, it's right by the historical part of Kokomo. I mean, just off the top of my head, I'm gonna guess that the average price of a home in this type of area will be $50,000 in this current housing market. And at this point, we're getting ready to enter back into downtown Kokomo area. I just wanted to drive you through some of the areas close by to historical Kokomo, to where you would possibly be able to find some housing slightly more affordable than the historical district itself. Because there's a lot of people that they like the historical district, but really can't afford to live in that area. Because sometimes you buy a house in a historical district, you'll pay more money for the house just because it's in a area labeled the historical district. As where if you buy it in an area that's close by the historical district, like maybe a block or two away, the housing prices will go down significantly. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it will. Can't do that. Now we're back in the downtown Kokomo area. Like where I live, I would say maybe 2 blocks away from where I live, there's a historical district. And the average price of housing in that particular neighborhood is $200,000. But where I live, the average price of a home at this point is $50,000. So that's just a small example of what I'm talking about here in Kokomo. Now we're on the northeast side of the city. See if I can get a little bit more footage of downtown Kokomo before I end this video, because I'm going to do a whole separate video on the northeast side of Kokomo. Because like I said, this city is way too big to just cram everything all in one video. Way too big for that stuff. There's way too much to see here in Kokomo for me to attempt to cram it all in just one video. And some of the other areas I've driven through, at some point, I'm going to do a part 2. Like, I'm going to do a part 2 video for Marion. I'm going to do a part 2 video for Peru. And honestly, I might even do a part 2 video for Newcastle. Here are some condos here in Kokomo which have recently been built. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if these are condos or apartment complexes, but rather they're condos or apartment complexes. These have been recently built. It looks like new construction.